Welcome to Fresh Start. Are you ready for health? We're talking about how to balance stress. And let's talk through some stress management techniques that might be helpful to you. The first is that you can re-engineer parts of your life. One of your informational handouts lists some ideas that you can look through to help you reduce stress. We'll go through some of those together here. You can begin by managing your lifestyle. That begins with a healthy diet. We've talked a lot about that in prior modules. By now, I hope you understand what a truly healthy diet is. Being aware of the effects of stress on our diet are helpful. Stress oftentimes leads to a poor diet, and you get into this vicious cycle where it just increases your stress as you feel guilty for the things that you've eaten. You need to just acknowledge that and break that cycle and make positive changes in your diet. You can also increase your physical activity to help you deal with stress. Physical activity extinguishes that fight or flight response. It releases helpful positive neurochemicals, reduces that stress-induced blood pressure, improves your mood, and provides a mental break. Rest and sleep are also helpful to help you manage your stress. Stress and sleep are interrelated. If you have lots of stress, it tends to contribute to poor sleep, and then poor sleep increases your sense of stress. You want to avoid that excess caffeine, which can give you a sense of anxiety and increase your level of stress. And you also want to avoid alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. You certainly don't want to use those to treat your sense of stress. Are you just juggling too much? Do you need to learn to say no? Back in our first module, we talked about purpose. Hopefully now you have a clear-cut idea of what your purpose is and what you hope for a better future. With that in mind, as you make decisions of what you're going to expend your resources on, be consistent with your purpose. Ask yourself before you make a decision, how does this contribute to that which is important to me? How does this add meaning? If it doesn't, maybe you need to say no. You also need to build in margin. Allow for white space. Learn to say no. For example, take a look at this. How do you respond when you look at this? I tend to glaze over and not even try to make any sense out of it. But what if we reframe this like this? That white space all of a sudden helps you organize this into something that you can read and understand. It's the same thing with our lives. We need to create some structure, including white space. One way to do that is to have a routine. Avoid expending your valuable energy and time on things that aren't important. Having a to-do list for the next day helps you organize your thoughts and can guide you through the things you should say yes and no to the following day. It may also be helpful for you to set up your food and your clothes for the next day so you don't have to make that decision in the morning while you're trying to get ready for work. Having a regular bedtime is very helpful. We'll talk more about sleep in another module. And then again, be careful with that alcohol and caffeine, both which are addictive and can disrupt your sleep, causing increased levels of stress. And be sure to include some white space, those breaks through your routine. Guard your time. Have some protected, dedicated time to do the tasks that are before you. Maybe turn off that internet and email notifications, take a break from the news, block out your calendar so you can do some work without being interrupted, and choose appointments thoughtfully. Say no if those appointments aren't going to constructively add to your day. At the end of the day, you can review your past day, reflect on your accomplishments. What are you grateful for? Those can help you relax and feel like you've done something worthwhile for the day. You also want to preempt conflict. Conflict just causes stress. So be honest, own up to your mistakes, accept responsibility, and avoid those unnecessary confrontations. Hold off on that email, text, or blog response that just might raise somebody's hackles. Let others have their own opinions just as you'd like to have your own. Are you ready for health?